Stop worrying about doing things in a perfect way. Stop worrying about all these gatekeepers saying, this is the only way to fast. How dare you drink a diet, whatever? How dare you have a small amount of calories? Listen, the thing that is going to work for you needs to be consistent. It needs to be sustainable. Do not worry about all these other people that say, this is the way you have to eat. This is the way you have to fast. This is the way you have to exercise. The only thing that is going to work for you is by you showing up, by you doing it, by you doing trial and error. Think about my journey. My entire life, I have always talked about this. I have been overweight. I've been obese. I've been morbidly obese my entire life. People will always in the past tell me, you just have to cut calories. You just have to eat X amount of times a day. You just have to super exercise this and that and do this and that. Don't eat this, don't eat that. Nothing ever worked. Nothing ever worked. The only thing that eventually worked for me was doing it my way. And you know what happened when I started to do it my way? Everybody had something to say. You're fasting for how long? How many times? You're eating how many calories? You're eating what? That's what you're eating after you're fasting? That's the wrong way. That's the way you shouldn't do it. Well, shit. Here I am 539 days later in the best shape of my life. My blood work is optimal. I have zero issues. I feel the best that I have ever been, and I'm 44 years old. This is the best I've ever felt in my entire life because I have found what works for me. I have learned to do something that's sustainable and consistent. How did I learn that? When I talk about trial and error just doesn't happen in a day. Trial and error takes weeks, takes months, takes years. Every single day I show up for myself, I continue learning. I learn more about myself. I learn to figure out what works and what doesn't. And you know what? Things that didn't work on day one are certainly now working on day 539. Why? Because I have changed many things about myself. I have evolved into a different person with the way I think and the way I feel about things. Think about what I've done, going through an evolution in the way I eat. From eating nothing but fast food because I couldn't even eat vegetables until I was in my 40s. Literally just eating fast food and processed food. And then all of a sudden adding a salad here and there. And then all of a sudden starting to add vegetables. Did that happen because I just decided to do it one day? No, that happened because I have learned to change the way I eat. But it doesn't change overnight. Yes, some things we can maybe do things overnight, but will it be sustainable? Can it last forever? That's why when people ask me, Jerome, how long should I fast for? Jerome, what should I eat? Jerome, how should I do this? Should I do that? Jerome, I want to do exactly what you do. Listen, you can do and attempt all of these things, but the moment you realize that this isn't for you is the moment that some of us will walk away from it completely. And I'm telling you right now, you have to figure out what works for you so you don't walk away from it. And if that means giving yourself some grace and saying, I can't tell you how many people come to me and say, Jerome, I want to do what you did. I want to fast for 90 plus hours for 5 months. I want to only eat for 4 hours in that time and then fast for 90 hours. That isn't for everyone. That doesn't work for everyone. Listen, I wouldn't have even done 90-hour fasts if my refeeds weren't 6,000 calories. If I could eat less calories, I would have never done 90-hour fasts. Here's the thing too. I'm not even doing 90-hour fasts anymore. I'm doing 65-hour fasts. Why? Because I have changed over time. I have realized eating vegetables, eating more meat, eating more protein has changed the way I feel about being satiated. I no longer binge. I no longer just eat junk food all day, although there might be some days like that, but the majority of how I refeed now is no longer like that. Why? Because I show up, because I am learning about myself, because I am doing. You will only learn until you do. You have to do these things and learn. It's just like learning a skill.